everybody, welcome back. Thanks for watching Hello Good Game, the best Magic the Gathering arena channel for beginners. Today we're continuing on with our Ikoria Lair of Behemoths limited guide. We're talking about Golgari Recursion. This means bringing our creatures back from the grave, right? We like to call this Reanimator sometimes. So Golgari Recursion focuses on big creatures with Mutate, putting them into the grave and then bringing them back, using life gain to survive while ramping into your bigger spells and avoiding aggro decks. We do have our limited cheat sheet here. They're included in all of our videos. Links are in the description below. You can also join our Discord if you want early access to the ones that are not out yet. So I'm going to take off my webcam for a second just so we can explain it. You'll see the bottom row says bombs. These are the cards that if you pull in your first pack or two, they're going to basically declare what deck you're playing. So this is why I've engineered these cheat sheets. So you can just use it as a quick reference guide, a quick visual reference. You pull these cards, it's like, oh, I've seen that before in the cheat sheet. That's in Golgari, you go right to it, and now you have the framework to build the rest of your deck, right? After our bombs, we're moving into our high priority picks. These cards are crucial to the deck strategy and synergy, right? For Golgari Recursion, we have Corpse Churn, Excavation Mole, and Dark Bargain. These cards are, like I said, absolutely crucial to you building an efficient and competitive deck that's going to get you 7 wins in Ikoria Limited Draft. So we have a red or an orange Planeswalker symbols on our highest priority picks, the ones I just mentioned, that absolutely 100% must be picked every time they show their face. We do have a couple other really high priority picks, Boot Nipper and Back for More. And then moving on to our low priority picks, and then finally our lowest priority picks that we just kind of want to fill our deck with if there aren't anything else within the cheat. So you're kind of working on the bottom rows and then going up in your priorities, right? So like I previously mentioned, we have big creatures that we want to put into the grave. We want to bring them back from the grave and mutate them into massive monsters and using life gain for survival while ramping into these big spells. Our best life gain spell here is Honey Mammoth. It brings us back a ton of life. And we also want to use non-mutate creatures to pay off for our mutate, such as our Essence Symbote, I believe is the most prevalent one in this deck. So with that all being said, I'm live on YouTube daily. We have daily uploads, you guys. Be sure to check us out. Over 400 uploads in 365 days, you guys. That's crazy. Every single day in the last year, I've put out more than one video. We're also live on Twitch every single day, 6 a.m. PST. I'd love your company if you wanted to join the conversation there. It would really be beneficial for my mental health. More importantly than both of these, you guys, though, is joining our Discord. Link in the description below. Once you do, introduce yourself and then check out our communities tab. We have a contests and competitions page where you can familiarize yourself with like just tons of ways to win some cash prizes to help fill out your collection in Magic the Gathering Arena. I think we have almost $2,000 or over $2,000, almost $3,000 in total cash that hopefully is spent in gems, not your rents, to help you guys as beginners really get the most out of Magic the Gathering Arena because it is my favorite game. I'm dug in and I'm going to be here for a while. So with that all being said, let's get into the individual cards and talk a little bit about the deck strategy. All right, Golgari Recursion in Ikoria Lair of Behemoths Draft is actually one of the more powerful archetypes. I really recommend it. Let's start with our commons here. We do have Essence Symbote, which I mentioned. He costs 2. He's a 2/2, so base values, whatever, right? It's decent. Whenever a creature you control mutates, put a 1/1 counter on that creature and you gain 2 life. That's awesome because we are mutating. We do have the English police here helping us. Pronunciation, Essence Symbiote. So we now can try to remember that for our future videos. Thanks for correcting us. That's something we really like when people do, is helping us. I help you a little bit, you help me. And yeah, maybe this year I'll pass grade 9. I'm kidding. Excavation Mole for 3. It's a 3/3, so the base stats continue to be just okay, right? It's got trample, so that's good. And whenever Excavation Mole enters the battlefield, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. We also have Honey Mammoth. This is our life gain engine that we talked about for 6, so it's expensive. However, when it enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life, so that's a pretty nice chunk. We have the Greater Sandworm for 7. This is a 7/7, so a very powerful card that they're 100% going to need to remove. Cycling for 2, which can be handy, potentially. If you can't cast it, you're getting land screwed. It cannot be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So no token chump blocks, boys. We're coming straight over. Moving on to our black commons, we have Boot Nipper. This is a really important card. It costs 2, it's a 2/1. It enters the battlefield with your choice of Death Touch or Lifelink. So early game, you probably want to put Life Gain on it to just spread that difference. And then late game, you probably want to put Death Touch on it because he's not going to want to block a 2/1 with Death Touch with his, say, 6/6 or 5/5 something, right? So he's going to let that damage through until it becomes such a problem where he now has to deal with it. So Boot Nipper is really nice. Corpse Churn, this is one of the most important picks of the deck. It costs 2. Put the top 3 cards of your library into the graveyard. Then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So this is just a really nice to cycle those creatures from your graveyard back into your hand to play them again. We have Dark Bargain, another really important pick in the deck. It's an instant for 4. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the other 2 into the graveyard. Dark Bargain deals 2 damage to you. So that's like a just really groovy draw engine, right? Moving on to our black uncommons. Zagoth Mamba. This card has a ton of value hidden in it. Whenever this creature mutates, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn. So this is kind of like creature we really want to mutate onto a lot of the times. Grim Dancer for 3. It's a 3/3. Base stats are alright. It enters the battlefield with your choice of 2 different counters on it from among Menace, Death Touch, and Lifelink. So again, this is really good evasion, right? Because they don't want to block Death Touch and its removal for you. And then you could also grab Menace, which is further evasion. Or if you need survivability, you use Lifelink. And how we talked about in the deck, survivability and gaining life is important. So you probably want to go Death Touch, Lifelink. In all honesty, Menace, maybe if you're trying to just close out the game. Unbreakable Bond for 5. This is a sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a lifelink counter on it. So another great way to resurrect some of those big baddies, right? So technically you could play this. We'll get to it. We'll not get ahead of ourselves. Anyways, Void Beckoner for 8. This card's huge. Death Touch, cycling for 3. Whenever you cycle Void Beckoner, put a Death Touch counter on target creature you control. But this is a perfect example of something that we could bring back with Unbreakable Bond, right? That's absolutely incredible. And 8/8 Death Touch is, it's going to break limited, you guys, right? We also have another copy of Godzilla in the deck, Titanith Rex. This is an 11/11 with Trample, another limited breaker, right? When you cycle Titanith Rex, put a Trample counter on target creature you control. So again, these 2 uncommons are just absolutely deadly in this deck. They work so good in it. Moving on, we do have some gold multicolored spells. Skull Prophet for 2. It's a 3/1, so a nice attacker, or it's a nice ramper because you can add a swamp or a forest. You can also tap it to put the top 2 cards of your library into the graveyard. So if you've got your Unbreakable Bond in your hand, you want to get your Space Godzilla or your Primal Champion Godzilla in the graveyard, that's a great way to do it. Boneyard Lurker for 4. It's a 4/4, so again, our base stats are fine. It has Mutate, which makes it great to put on our Mamba. Whenever this creature mutates, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So you're seeing all of the different ways to bring our creatures back into play. Not to mention Back for More for 6, an instant, which is really important. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. When you do, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. You can do this instant speed on your block step, guys. When your opponent declares attackers, you play this, you bring out your big baddie. Your big baddie fights one of his attackers and then blocks the other. Boom! Game over. We have a couple bombs included within the set. Batra, Dark Destroyer, which is the Dirge Bat for 4. Flash Flying, Mutate for 6. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Pretty broken, and the flyer is really cool. We also have Gem Razor, which has Reach and Trample. Mutate for 3. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. So there is a ton of value within this deck, you guys. It's one of my favorite Ikoria Lair of Behemoth limited synergies or archetypes. I think there is just so much you can do here. As long as you don't brick on mana and have a really bad draw hand with all of these 8 and 9 cost cards in them, you're going to be okay, right? If you can kind of start that cycling process, survive with the life gain like we talked about, until you can start getting some of these Godzillas in play and absolutely smash your opponent. So don't forget to check out our cheat sheet, right? That's the biggest thing you can do to improve your limited skills right now, right? Is just build a really good deck, right? So link is in the description below. Thank you guys all for watching. I'm live on Twitch every single morning, 6 a.m. PST. You can also follow us on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. And then most importantly, hit that bell icon so you're notified of our future uploads, which, let's be honest, they're fire at this point. We've really got it dialed in. Thank you guys all for watching. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your continued time and attention. It just makes me all giddy inside. With that all being said, though, thanks for watching. I hope you guys all have a great day. It's springtime now in the Northern Hemisphere, at least. So get out, get some sun, and yeah, soak up that vitamin D, and we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Take care. If you liked today's video, be sure to check out some of our other content. We built playlists for our guides for beginners, and then we also have our greatest hits, which is a collection of our most popular videos. You can also subscribe if you're interested in winning up to 500,000 gems. So do that, tap that like button, send this out to a friend who you think might be interested in it as well, and have a great day.